Hi, Guthrie from Sharetribe here with some pretty big news. We've just released a new transaction process type to Sharetribe, price negotiation. In addition to enabling negotiating on price with online payments, this release adds a reverse marketplace flow to Sharetribe, which you can enable without any coding. Let's take a look at what that means and how it'll work for your users. Price negotiation is a new transaction process in Sharetribe that supports reverse transactions, meaning the customer creates a listing and the provider starts the transaction instead of the other way around. Negotiation, the provider and customer can negotiate on the price. Counter offers, the customer can counter the provider's offer with a new one. Online payments, the customer can pay securely through your marketplace. Delayed payouts, the provider will get paid once they've delivered what the customer ordered, minus the marketplace's commission. And finally, reviews. After the transaction, the provider and customer can review each other. Let's take a look at what a simple reverse transaction will look like in Sharetribe with the new price negotiation process. We'll take a look at the customer and provider experience side by side on a freelance service marketplace. And we start with the customer who creates a listing. First, the customer clicks to post a new project, that is, a listing. They fill out basic details, such as project title, description, and any listing field data you've added to your marketplace. Then, they choose a style, and they hit publish. The project is now visible for service providers on the marketplace. So let's switch to the provider. First, they search for projects, or listings. They can filter the search based on your listing filters. And they choose the listing our customer just created. Next, they click to submit an offer. The offer includes a quote and additional details. Once those are filled, the provider can send the offer to the customer. The provider needs to have added their payout details to their account to be able to submit an offer. So next, the customer will find the new offer in their inbox. They open it and familiarize themselves with what's included. At this stage, the possible next steps for the customer are to send a message to ask for details or negotiate, reject the offer if they received a better offer from another provider, or make a counteroffer. The customer can counter the provider's offer with a new one as a part of the negotiation. And if everything looks great, as it does here, the customer can accept the offer and pay. The customer will be prompted to add their details if they haven't yet, after which they can make an order. At this point, the marketplace collects the payment and will hold it until the service provider successfully delivers what was promised. Delivering the order is the next step. The provider works on the project, delivers it, for example, with a link to the materials in a message or by mail if the item is physical, and so on. Once the order is marked delivered, the customer needs to accept it for the transaction to conclude. The customer can still request changes at this stage if the delivered order did not match what was agreed upon. But in this case, everything looks great, so the customer accepts the order, which means that the customer's payment has been sent to the provider minus the marketplace's commission. Finally, the customer and provider can review each other. That's how the reverse transaction flow works in Sharetribe. You can enable price negotiation in your listing type settings, and let us know if you have any questions. You can always reach us at hello@sharetribe.com.